So good day guys. So today we'll be talking about equation of a straight line. The equation of a straight line. Equation of a straight line. Good. So when we talk about equation of a straight line, what are we talking about? Don't forget that equation in mathematics does not mean just a vertical axis. Rather, it does not only contain a straight line on horizontal axis. We are also talking about a slantic line like this. Any line like this of any of this type is a straight line in mathematics as soon as it is not curved. Do you get? So a line can either be curved or what? Or straight. Do you understand? So we are talking about how we can get the equation of such a line. That's what we are going to be talking about now. So good. So before we start talking about equation of a straight line, let's talk about the major terms that we'll be using as we start talking about this particular subtopic. Good. Okay, now when we say equation of a straight line, normally the equation of a straight line is of this. Say y is equals to mx plus c. This is the equation of a straight line. So here we are having y and x. They are telling us that equation of a straight line will be in terms of what? Y and what? And x axis. And as you can see here in this particular diagram, you can see the Cartesian plane. We have the y axis, and we have the what? The x axis. These are the Cartesian plane. Now here we say we have y and x axis. We also have m. The m is actually standing for the what? For the slope. Now what's the slope? Slope is just equal to, we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus what? Minus x1. That's the formula for slope. Now whenever we have something like this, a straight line here, we have something like this, we always have our x2, we have our x1, and the same way too, we have our y1 and we automatically have our y2. So let's see, this is x2, this is x1, this is y1, and this is what? Y2. Do you understand? So to get the slope is just y2 minus y1 over what? X2 minus x1. Don't forget that when we say a point on the Cartesian plane, we always have x-axis and what? And y-axis. Do you understand? So let's say they ask us to find the slope of a straight line that is having these 2 points. Don't forget, before you can have a slope must have 2 different points. And don't forget, a point we have both the x-axis and the what? And the y-axis. So let's say that's us to look for the slope, whereby between the point, let's say 2 and 3, and the point 4 and 5. So what do we do? Now don't forget that the first point they give you, the first number you'll be having here will be your x1, and the second number you'll be having here will be your what? Your y1. Do you understand? And the next point they give you, the first number here will be your what? Your x2, and the next number will be your what? Your y2. So to get the slope now will be very, very easy. Since we know the formula for slope, just okay, slope is equals to our y2 minus y1 over what? S2 minus what? X1, which is actually equal to our y2 is what? Is 5. So we have 5 minus our y1 is what? Is 3 over what was our x2? Our x2 is 4 minus what was our x1? Our x1 is what? Is 2. So we are going to have 5 minus 3 will give me what? 2 over 4 minus 2 also give me what? 2, which is equals to what? 1. Do you understand that point? So the slope here is equals to what? Is equals to 1. So we have gotten our slope to be equal to 1. So whenever they ask us to look for slope, most times they will give us what? 2 points. And there are some other situations where you can also get the slope from the equation of the straight line that they gave us. but we'll get there one by one. So let's start from this. We have gotten the slope. After getting the slope now, the other thing that we have in this equation is our C. What's this C standing for? The C is the intercept of y-axis. The intercept. Good. So when that C we are having there is the intercept of what? Of y-axis. So when we draw this straight line, let's now imagine that. Let's see that we draw it to this point. Good. Now this point. Good. So this point at which it hits the y-axis is what refers to as what? Our C. So the C is the what? Is the intercept. Do you understand? So we have gotten what each of these parameters in this particular equation stands for. So what we are going to be checking out now is how we can now get the equation of a straight line using this particular formula. So let's check out. Let's look at the next point. Okay, so now let's move on. So they gave us this question. They said we should find the equation of a straight line with point 2,5 and 6 in it, having the intercept of 6 on y-axis. So since you know this is a straight line, what we are just going to do is recall the formula that, okay, that our y is equals to what? Ms plus c. So we know the two variables that we are looking for is the slope and the what? And the intercept. They gave us this intercept already here to be equals to what? 6, but they didn't give us the slope. Rather, what they gave us is the point. They gave us the point of 2 and 5, and they also give us the point of what? 6 and 8. We should not forget that this is your x1 and your what? Y1, and this is your what? X2 and your what? And your y2. So how do we get our slope? Very easy. We can just recall the formula that, okay, our m is equals to y2 minus y1 over what? S2 minus what? X1. So let's move on. Our y2 is what? Is 8. From here, our y2 is 8, and our y1 is what? Is 5. Very good. Our y1 is also 5. You should take note. Over our x2 here, our x2 is what? 6 minus, and our x1 is what? Is 2. So we are having 8 minus 5 to give us 3 over 6 minus this to give us what? 4. So having our slope as 3 over what? Over 4. And we have gotten our C. What we just need to do is just substitute. Okay, that your y is equal to, our m is what? 3 over 4, right? And our x, don't forget, in terms of x, plus our C is what? Is 6. So you can either leave your answer this way or work further. How do we work further? This is over 1. This is also over 1. Then multiply everything we have there by 4. So we have 4 bracket y is equals to 4 bracket 3 over 4 x plus 6 bracket 4. Why are we multiplying everything by 4? Because we don't like this fraction. We want everything to just be on one line. So we can have 4y. Good. Let's write it there. So we have 4y is equals to this 4, cancel this 4. So we have 3x plus 6 times 4 will give us what? 24. So I can bring everything to the other side. Bringing everything to the other side. If I bring them to this other side, I'm going to have 4y minus 3x minus 24 is equals to what? 0. Do we get that point? So we have actually looked for the equation of the line having these two particular points and the intercept of this. Do we get? So this is it. So let's move on to, let's check other examples and then look at how we are going to solve them. Okay, good. Now let's look at this question. They ask us to find the equation of a line which is parallel to this particular line and it has an intercept, the intercept of 2. So good. So how do we solve this? It's kind of very easy. So first thing you have to take note is parallel lines actually have the same slope. That means if you're having a particular line with m1 and that line is parallel to another line with the slope m2, since they are parallel, our M1 will be equals to what? Will be equals to M2 for parallel lines. But what about if they are not parallel? What about if they are perpendicular? For perpendicular line, M1 to multiply M2 will be equals to what? Minus 1 for perpendicular. Do you understand? So if a line is perpendicular, we can say, okay, our M1 times M2 is equals to this. That means we can say our M1 is equals to the negative inverse of what? Of M2. So that's for perpendicular lines. But we are not checking that now. What we are checking is for parallel lines. So that means this line will be having the same slope with the equation of the line we are looking for. Do you understand? So what we need from this equation is the slope. Now they give us our y is equals to 5x plus 6. Equation of a line is equals to mx plus 6. mx plus c, sorry. Good. So we know our equation of a line is equals to what? Mx plus c. Do you get? So that means our m here, you can say our m here is equals to what? Is equals to 5. That means you can say, okay, m1 is equals to 5. Now we are looking for equation of a line with the slope m2. Now our m is also equal to m2x plus what? Plus c. They gave us the intercept already. Intercept is equals to what? 2. Since our m1 is equals to 5, certainly our m2 too be equals to what? 5. Why will it be equals to 5? Because both of the lines are what? Are parallel. So we can say, okay, my y is equals to, my m2 is what? 5. Put your x there. Plus your x is equal, plus your c, which is what? Which is 2. So the equation of this line is equals to what? Is equals to 5. Y is equals to 5x plus what? Plus 2. You can actually write your equation 2 like this: y minus 5x minus 2 to be equals to what? 0. So either you put it this way or you put it this way. Any of them are acceptable. Do you understand? So good. So let's take this. Let's take another example on this. Okay, now let's look at this question again. They ask us to find the equation of a line which is parallel to the line this and has an intercept, or the intercept of 3. So how do we solve this? Very easy. Since we know that, okay, if we have two lines with the slope m1 and m2 and they are perpendicular to themselves, we already know that our m1 will be the negative inverse of what? Of m2. Do you understand? So we have the first line to be y is equals to 3x plus 5. Let's say this is the one having the slope of m1. So don't forget that equation of a line m1x plus c. Our m1 here will be equals to what? Will be equals to 3. So you can say, okay, our m1 is equals to 3. So automatically our m2 now, if I look for m2 here, my m2 is also the negative inverse of what? Of m1. So I can say, okay, my m2 will be equals to minus 1 over what? Over 3. That is the slope for the next line that is perpendicular to the other line. Don't forget, if you say perpendicular line, we are talking about a line that makes 90 degrees with the other one. It's not a must. It could be something like this. Do you understand? But where we measure the line is what? Is 90. Do we get? So that's what we are talking about. So good. So our m2 is equals to 1 minus 1 over 3, and our c, they give us our intercept already to be equal to what? To be equal to 3. So how do we now look for the equation of the line? Equation of the line is equals to m2x plus what? Plus c. So that's what we are looking for. So my y is equals to, my m2 is what? Minus 1 over 3 to multiply, good, to multiply x plus my c is equals to what? Is equals to 3. So if I actually solve this very well, we have y is equals to minus 1 over 3x plus 3. If I multiply all through by 3, I'm going to have 3y is equals to minus 1 over 3. Let me have 3 here, plus I have 3 to multiply what? 3. I'm multiplying all through by 3 because I don't want this fractioning. So if I cancel this, I'm going to have my final answer as 3y to be equal to minus, please I will omit my x here, there should be x here, minus 1x plus 9. Do you understand? So I have 3y. If I bring this in, I'm going to have plus x. If I bring this in here, let's bring it to this other side. Good. I'm going to have what? Minus 9. Everything equals to what? Equal to 0. Do you understand? So the equation of the line having the intercept of 3 and is actually perpendicular to this particular line is this. Do you understand? So that's it. So let's take notes. So no stress. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now let's look at this question. They ask us to find the slope of a line which is parallel to this particular line. We already know that if they are parallel, our m1 will automatically be equal to what? M2. That means the slope of this particular equation is equal to the slope of that line that we are looking for. And that's all. That's all they ask us to look for. But now, how do we get this? We should not forget that equation of a line is equal to what? Mx plus c. So to look for m, we have to make this particular equation look like this. So how do we do that? We have 2y plus 3x minus 5 is equals to 0. Make y the subject of the formula. First bring everything here. We are going to have 2y to be equal to minus 3x minus 5. Now divide all through by 2. By dividing all through by 2, we have this to cancel out this. Then we have y is equals to minus 3 over 2x minus 5 over what? Over 2. Do we get that point? So good. So since we're having this as this, we have y is equals to mx plus what? Plus c. So my m here is equals to what? Minus 3 over 2. So we have gotten our m automatically to be equal to what? Let's say m2 is equals to what? Minus 3 over what? Over 2. So this is how to look for it. First thing, make y your subject of the formula. Then we call the formula of a straight line. By doing that, you can just cancel out the ones you want to cancel out and then bring out the one you win. So we need m here. So just relate them together and then your m is this. We are having this to be equal to the, because our equation is parallel to this. Do you understand? If it is not parallel, it will not be of this. Do you understand? Let's say, okay, let's reverse the question. Let's say they said, okay, the question is perpendicular to this line. If it's perpendicular, we know our m1 is equal to what? Minus 1 over what? M2. Do you understand? So since this is our m1 is equal to what? Let's say we got our m1, that is the slope of this equation to be equal to minus 3 over 2. This is what we get. So to get m2 is equal to what? Minus 1 over what? Over m1. So to get that to be m2 is equal to minus 1 divided by minus 3 over 2. So we have m2 to be equal to minus 1 to multiply 2 over minus 3. Good. 2 over minus 3. So minus cancel minus. So automatically, permits me to write it here. Our m2 to be equal to, we have 2 over what? Over 3. Do you understand? Because if I change this thing to multiplication sign, it will automatically change this thing like the inverse of this. So 3 will move down and 2 will move up. So we're having 1 to multiply 2 over minus 3. Minus cancel minus. 1 times 2 is 2 and over 3. So we have this. If it is what? Perpendicular. But what they ask us to find is parallel. So if it's parallel, this is our answer. But if it's perpendicular, it will be what? 3 over what? 2 over 3. Do you understand? So take note of that. Very important. So let's take another question on this. Good. Now let's look at this particular question. They ask us to find the equation of a line passing through this passing through the point 2 and 3, and it's perpendicular to the line this. Now you can see they gave us a particular point here rather than the intercept. So the equation of the line that we are actually using before might not actually work. That means, this y is equals to mx plus c will not work. Why? Because it did not give us the intercept here. Rather, we are going to use another formula of a straight line, and that formula is y minus y1 is equals to m open bracket x minus what? X1. Do you understand? Now this is containing a point. So whenever we are looking for the equation of a straight line and they give us a point and the slope, we can easily use this particular formula to look for the equation of the line. Now take note that they give us the point 2 and 3, which is actually corresponding to x1 and what, y1. We have gotten that. But did they give us m? Yes, they actually gave us m, but they gave us in it is actually contained in this particular equation that is perpendicular to. And don't forget that when two lines are perpendicular to themselves, our m1 is the inverse, the negative inverse of what, of m2. So let's say this is our m1, this is containing m1, then we can look for m2 to be equal to the negative inverse of what, of m1. So let's get m1 first. Now they give us 3s plus 2y plus 4 equals 0. We can make y the subject of the formula by saying, okay, bringing everything that is not equal to y to the other side. So we have 2y is equals to minus 3 minus 4. Then divide all through by 2. If I divide all through by 2, then I will have my y to be equal to minus 3 over 2x minus 2. So I've gotten this. Now don't forget that y is equals to what? Mx plus c. I'm just using this to get my what? My m. So my m1 now, my m1, good. My m1 will now be equal to what? Minus 3 over what? Over 2. But what I need is m2. My m2, that's the line that is perpendicular to, is equal to minus 1 over what? Over m1. And that will be minus 1 divided by minus 3 over what? Over 2. And then my m2 will be equal to minus 1 to multiply 2 over what? Minus 3. This will cancel out this. So my m2, sorry, so I can say, okay, my m2 now will be equal to what? 2 over what? Over 3. Do you understand? So I've gotten I've gotten my m2 to be equal to this. Now I can now substitute it in this equation. The equation is what? Y minus y1 is equals to m open bracket what? X minus what? X1. So y minus, what is my y1? My y1 is what? Is 3 from here. My y1 is 3 and my x1 is what? Is 2. Do you understand? So we have y minus 3 is equals to my m that I got. M is what? 2 over 3 open bracket x minus my x1 is what? Is 2. So automatically I can have what? Y minus 3 is equals to, if I open this bracket, I'm going to have 2x over 3 minus what? 4 over what? Over 3. Do you understand? So I can multiply all through by 3. If I multiply all through by 3, I'm having 3 open brackets. Y minus 3 is equals to 2 over 3 to multiply, there is x here, then to multiply 3 minus 4 over 3 to multiply what? To multiply 3. So 3 can cancel out this, 3 can cancel out this. So I'm going to have 3y, sorry, let me rub off some parts. Good. So let me rub off these parts. Good. Okay, so from that point that we have here, so if I open the bracket there, I'm going to have 3y, good, I'm going to have 3y minus 9 to be equal to, now here what I'll be having here will be what? Will be 2x, Abby, because 3 have cancelled 3, and what I'll be having here is what? Is minus 4. So I can bring everything to this side, that means bring everything to this other side. So I'll be having 3y minus 2x minus 9 plus 4, everything equals to 0. So eventually I have 3y minus 2 minus 5 is equals to what? Is equals to 0. So this is my equation. Do you understand that? So you can check the video over again and check if you have check if you actually understand them very well. So and you can try some other questions too with it. So thank you so much. So check out my next video on how to get the equation of a cycle. We are going to be dropping that soon. Thank you.